Hello and welcome everybody to the very first podcast right here on HotCuppaTV. I would like to say a very warm welcome to each and every one of you, and this is the first episode of this very long, new and juicy podcast series. So as long as this channel goes on for, I'll probably have this podcast going on for, and I don't know how long we will be doing this for at the moment, so it might be once every 2 weeks or so. Something like that, but we shall see as it goes along. Now, we have a lot of juicy topics, really amazing topics and different things to discuss in this podcast. First of all, I just want to say a massive thank you from my bottom of my heart, guys, to each and every one of you guys who have supported this channel and who are supporting it, indeed, especially the long-term supporters of this channel, and you guys know who you are. And you guys are amazing, so thank you so much. I hope you're all having a great day, and I'm so happy that you could join us here today on this podcast. So take a sip of your delicious hot coffee, cup of coffee, okay? And we're going to delve deep into this here. We have multiple things to discuss. Now, in this podcast, we're going to cover, okay, the whole plans for the podcast and the different types of subjects and topics that we will and are going to be talking about in now and in the future here on the podcast. We're going to go over a few different types of topics to expect in the future, okay? And then we are also going to be talking today on the podcast about a few different things. Jurassic World Dominion, for example, the lockdown, for example, certain video games that I have in my mind. Okay, we're going to discuss the new PlayStation 3 and the new Xbox X series, which are just in the forefront of my mind at the moment. And we are going to be discussing the plans on the channel, okay? I think we are going to begin by discussing the plans for HotCuppaTV and just a general update for this channel. Okay, so this podcast will actually be a very great way to stay up to date with you guys and to keep you all updated on indeed this channel's plans, you know, for currently and in the future. So at the moment, we're really thriving on the channel, and you know, I'm just so happy. Currently, the world is in a global pandemic as I'm recording this. I don't know what date I'm going to be putting this up and out onto the YouTube, onto the internet, the interbubs, if you will. But yeah, so you know, at the moment, you know, I'm focusing on creating a few different types of series, and the series we have going on HotCuppaTV at the moment are Jurassic World Evolution, which is a Jurassic Lounge series, okay, guys, which is the amazing series. I love it. It is currently really awesome to do, you know, a few episodes of that. And then we have a Minecraft series, which is Coffee Reef, which is our brand new Minecraft survival world, which is a fantastic new series. We also have Cities Skyline series, which I don't know whether that will be out on the channel by the time that you hear this, but hopefully maybe there will be the first episode. Then we also have Hytale videos, news and updates. So we're keeping you guys up to date about that game because I know how excited some of you are. You're just as excited as me, some of you, for what that game has to bring us, because in the future it's really exciting to see what type of game it's going to be. Is it going to be better than Minecraft? God forbid. Is it going to be as good, or is it going to be, you know, like what type of features and stuff it's going to have? And the game looks really, really promising. So yeah. Now, with all of that being said, I hope you guys aren't going too crazy in the pandemic right now, and I hope that this podcast can give you guys a bit of, it can give you a bit of entertainment relief. And you can come to the channel in order to chill out or relax, or you could listen to this while you're cooking, or when you're out and about, when you're traveling and commuting, or maybe you're out somewhere. Perhaps you are going to be out at the gym or something like that. So yeah, now the plans for this podcast, guys, is I'm going to be bringing on all different types of guests. So if you want to be a guest on this podcast, and perhaps you're another creator, let me know, and we can get you guys on here. And also, leave your comments in the comment section below about your thoughts about the podcast, guys, and get involved. Feel free to be interactive, and also let me know how you are listening to this. So, are you listening to it like the way I listen to podcasts? Is I actually listen to podcasts when I'm cooking, for example, or when I'm just doing things like that. For example, when I'm shaving or if I'm in the bathroom, like, you know, when you're doing the in-between things, I use it to like listen, because podcasts are so handy. You can just listen to them really at like any time you want, you know, and so they're really useful for downloading and digesting information, you know, keeping up to date with your favorite creators and things like that. I also think that podcasting has an extremely bright future, but that is a whole subject for an individual podcast. Another subject for the future podcast of this is Jurassic, you know, like a more deeper dive into the movies of Jurassic Park, which I probably would love to talk about, because I think a lot of you on this channel will be interested in that. In fact, I am really excited to do that, because I mean, god damn it, guys. Oh, god damn it, that Jurassic Park, especially the classics, you know, the first three movies, Jurassic World, of course, and just the whole Jurassic universe. I have to admit, I love it so much. I've always been passionate about dinosaurs since when I was younger, you know, and I just find it so interesting. So we will be doing an amazing podcast about that at some point, in the future. Now, another subject we're going to be talking about, okay, is the PlayStation and Xbox. We will be talking about that a lot more on this podcast, and just all-round gaming news, the gaming world and the gaming industry. Indeed, we'll be talking about new games, and we will be talking about retro games as well in the future. And I want to bring on a few different types of guests to talk about that, because I think it's going to be super interesting. Like, I love to talk about my memories of games when I was younger, and where the history of games, where I came from, about why I love games so much. You know, just the different types of games that made me, Crash Bandicoot, you know, GTA and all the classics growing up, and why I got to the point where I am now, which is ultimately a passionate gamer. You know, I have many things I'm passionate about in life, guys, but this channel, HotCuppaTV, and gaming and tech in general is one of them. You know, I actually absolutely love that, and I've always been into tech. I'm a very I'm very passionate about the latest smartphones, technology, you know, AI, and everything like that. So I am going to be we will be discussing that on this podcast too. Okay, so up to date tech news, okay, so things like that, different articles and things that I find that I might think that I find interesting, and I think a lot of you will find it interesting as well. Let me know, please, some of you, your thoughts about that and about tech, if you find it interesting, because I love it. You know, I love finding out about the newest hardware to do with computers, to do with mobile phones, and just the whole general time we're living in, which is 2020. And the state of technology right now is it's a really exciting place. You know, drones making deliveries through your window. You open your window. You don't open your door, guys, to pick up the post, you know. You open your window and a drone drops a parcel into your hands. Indeed, this is our future. And we don't have flying cars yet, but, you know, we are on the way. Elon Musk is currently building tunnels underground, and he is... don't get me started on, why I love Elon Musk so much, but he's a technology pioneer, to say the least. So yeah, this will be a tech-oriented podcast. In fact, guys, I wanted to start bringing more tech content in general to HotCuppaTV. At the moment, it's all about gaming, but as you know, the title of the channel is not a gaming channel at all. And you may be interested to know, nor was it ever going to be. So yeah, originally when I made this HotCuppaTV, it was just going to be a YouTube channel very generalized about kind of everything. And when I say everything, I mean just the things I'm passionate about in general. But of course, one of the things I'm passionate about is gaming. So I started off with games, and it just so happened, that, you know, the channel became more, just completely involved in games, because at the moment that's what we're doing. And don't get me wrong, guys, I love it. But, excuse me, I want to tell the story about HotCuppaTV, and that is the story about, you know, the roots of how it began. And it's therefore, we are starting now by this podcast content to, you know, start to introduce different types of other content to the channel as well. Now, does this mean games will be going away forever? No more Jurassic World Evolution, no more Minecraft, and no more games? No, of course not, guys. Those are the things I love the most. You know, we will be doing that a lot. However, you know, I really want to be talking about other things I'm passionate about on this channel. And whether that means for a podcast or maybe some tech videos in the future. This channel, I'm just letting you guys know that this channel will be based around gaming and tech as well, and podcasts. These are the main three subjects of this channel, you know. So yeah, very interesting. And let me know about your thoughts about that, and give me some creative ideas, guys. Chuck the creative ideas at me, you know, throw them into my face. Don't wound me with them, but scar me with them, you know. Like the way that Legolas shoots a bow on Lord of the Rings for miles, and it just hits the orc right in the middle of the cheek, and, you know, just right in the perfect position, and just completely wounds him and slaughters him. So I don't know where that random kind of thoughts came from. But the fact of the matter is, guys, is podcasts like this are for getting creative. You know, you need to expand your horizons and express your ideas, and that is what we're going to be doing here in the podcast. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. Let me know if you're enjoying it so far. The entertainment value on here, you know, a little bit of light-hearted humor. We're going to be chucking all sorts of things into here. And this is a very interesting potential, because this is the seed, guys. This is just the very first beginning podcast of something very big, very new, and something that potentially can be, you know, very special. So before we jump into Jurassic World Dominion here, I just wanted to say, what did I want to talk about? Yeah, guests. So we are going to be having all kinds of guests on this podcast. Now, I want to do a lot of solo podcasts, so it's just me talking about the latest things and keeping you guys up to date regularly, right? But every now and again, we will also have guests on here, and we will see what different types of people we can get in the future. You know, I want to have a few of my friends on this podcast even. You know, we can tell some interesting stories I think you guys might like, all related to gaming, of course, and games and tech, and just things that you guys all might be into. And then other YouTubers, right? Let me know what other YouTubers do you want to see on the podcast. Do you want me to tweet them? Do you want me to message certain people, have them talk on here? Is there someone in our particular community that you might think would be a good guest for this podcast? Let me know. Be really interesting to hear what different types of people you think should be on it. You know, maybe guests related to tech, other smaller YouTubers. Could be really interesting, you know, guys. And we will probably jump into discussing Jurassic World Dominion now, and everything that we can't get to in this podcast we will get to in the future podcasts, because that is the whole point of this. We can, anything that we forget to discuss or just don't end up discussing, we can go into, you know. We can deep delve into and have an investigation into that in the future. So let's see here. So I wanted to talk about Jurassic World 3, Jurassic World Dominion. What's it going to be? When is it going to be out? Is there any news? This is a Jurassic channel. We do Jurassic World Evolution games, but I've always been into this Jurassic community, to be honest, and keeping up to date with the latest information of the actors of the films and the movies, you know. And I also listen to a podcast which has really inspired me, to be honest, guys, called the Jurassic Park podcast. So if you guys haven't listened to that, god damn it, you're missing out. You're in for a treat, especially if you're a Jurassic fan, right, and you're into dinosaurs. That is the podcast for you. It's amazing. They don't do as many podcasts at the moment, I don't think, than they used to, but they are a regular podcast, I think, and yeah, it's pretty good, and I love it over there. And so I got a lot of inspiration, and let me tell you my favorite podcast, right? I've got a few different types of favorite podcasts. We have, before we jump in more into the Jurassic World Dominion, we actually have, these are my favorite podcasts. I like, obviously there's Joe Rogan, right, online, which I like his podcast a lot, but my favorites have to be, I listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. I listen to like lifestyle podcasts. Bedros Keuilian, I listen to. He's like a business coach, and it's really interesting, you know, about thoughts about brand building and business. So that podcast is called the Empire Podcast. I listen to a podcast from Max Torno, who's also a business coach, called the the coaching business podcast. I find it really interesting, guys, because YouTube, in the long term, you can be looked at as a business, and it should be something you have in the forefront of your mind. If you're building a brand over the long term, you should think about these things, about how you can plan to do things in the future. So that is all really interesting. Like I say, I like the Jurassic Park podcast, and there are a few gaming podcasts. There's the Gaming Careers podcast, which is an amazing channel. It teaches you on that channel. He teaches you how to do live streams and stuff like that, how to get into Twitch, streaming on Twitch, and how to set up live streams on OBS Studio for YouTube and stuff like that. So I find that really interesting, because live streams is something I want to bring more to this channel, and I have been trying to set that up in the past few weeks, my friends, and it hasn't gone according to plan. I'm going to be honest with you. We've had some serious problems, and so it turns out that we we couldn't bring some live streams to you now, but I'm going to be working on it in the future. The reason why we had some problems is because we are having internet problems in London, and indeed the internet keeps cutting me off. So it's actually no good if I'm midstream and the whole stream, deletes and cancels. So I'm going to have to do something about that. I have 5G Ethernet, home 5G internet here in London. It's still terrible, guys. So I don't know what's going on, but we're having all kinds of problems. It has been way worse since the beginning of the lockdown and the pandemic here in England. So I don't know why. I don't know if it's got something to do with that, but I'll keep you guys up to date about that. And indeed, you will see live streams here in the future. Excuse me. Eventually, at some point. So don't worry about that. Never fear. Anyway, for Jurassic World Dominion. It looks like I was reading an article the other day, and it said something along the lines of that we're not going to be getting our first glimpse. We're going to be getting just leaks of information from now until December 2020, right? So the end of later this year, and then they're expecting a second trailer to be coming out in April 2021, and I can't wait to see where the film goes. Obviously, we've got Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard playing the characters that they play, the original, the same as the original. And we're going to have features of certain dinosaurs. Apparently, the brand new baby Nasutoceratops may be in it, which is crazy. And we may have other new dinosaurs. I would hope so. So we shall see how that goes. Now, as for when the film is coming out, because of this global pandemic, is it going to be delayed? I don't think it will be, and I think that because currently they haven't announced that the film has been delayed, and it is expected for 2021. But they may, I mean, actually, now that I think about it, it probably will be delayed, and they probably haven't announced something yet. But yeah, as far as the work on the films goes, that is obviously not going on right now because of social distancing. But we'll have to see about news about that. So I'll keep you guys up to date about that. But I think originally it was planning to come out on Jurassic World 3 Dominion, which is, by the way, the new name they've called it. Well, it was named fairly recently. I think a few months ago it was renamed Dominion, and June the 11th, 2021, I believe, was the release date. It hasn't been postponed yet, but the production obviously has been halted due to the ongoing world situation, which is fair enough. But I'm really excited. Are we going to see the Indoraptor? Are we going to see the Indominus Rex? Are we going to see our favorite dinosaurs and new dinosaurs in this movie? And are we going to see the dinosaurs escaping and taking over the world, which is what they have done? They've currently escaped from the main island, from just being on an island, in the middle of the Jurassic universe, and then actually now being in as part of the rest of the world, because the Lockwood family brought them back before, and now it's chaos. Basically, we have pteranodons are roaming loose, and things are just wild, absolutely ridiculous right now going on. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens about that. So yeah, like I said to you guys, we will probably be doing a whole new, more deeper dive, in-depth podcast about that third movie in the future here, coming on the channel once we have more information about that. And we can really go into the details about the dinosaurs, the actors, and so forth. So I'm looking forward to that. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox X series, the new to next generation games consoles coming out this year. We do not know. I don't think we have had release dates on those two consoles yet, currently at the moment. But what I have seen is one gameplay trailer was recently released for the Xbox One X. For the Xbox X, and it didn't seem that good. You know, it was actually the brand new Assassin's Creed game. So let me know if you guys have seen that trailer. Let me try and see what was the name of that actual new Assassin's Creed game, because. And also, were you guys fans of Assassin's Creed? Oh yeah, that's it. So they called it. Yeah, I've never really played Assassin's Creed much, but I've always wanted to get into it and play it more. And I think they do look like really cool games, and I can understand why those games are popular. Let me know. Would you guys like to see a future Assassin's Creed series on this channel about the new Assassin's Creed game? And the name of that new game is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So I don't know where it's particularly based in, but it looks crazy. And the guy is holding two axes as the thumbnail. Like it looks brutal, to be honest. And anyway, that trailer was the world premiere, and they called it a gameplay trailer. It came out around a week ago, and it was released officially for Xbox. And to be honest, it was a massive letdown. Like, it was supposed to be next generation series graphics and things like that, but it just showed kind of what seemed to be more like a gameplay trailer and less of the actual gameplay footage of you actually, well, more like footage and less of the gameplay of you actually being in the game. We didn't get to see the character moving around as you would play it, and I think a lot of people were disappointed. Indeed, it was a bit like YouTube Rewind, guys. It had so many dislikes. It was ridiculous. So yeah, I want to bring up this article I found. Jurassic Park was wrong about raptors. Did you know, guys? Fun fact, raptors did not hunt in packs. Yes, indeed, velociraptors never ran around hunting in packs. They, despite this, the cinematic portrayal, the way that the films, especially the originals, portrayed the raptors, saying that they probably hunted in packs. Well, new scientific evidence has been released, okay, guys, recently, and I found it on a few articles here, that the raptors probably hunted more like Komodo dragons than a pack of collaborative wolves. So yeah, really crazy. That's gonna drive some, diehard Jurassic World fans wild, because they love these types of lore and the way that the knowledge they have about dinosaurs, especially if it's like classic knowledge, and like the fact that we discovered that raptors have having feathers, and now we're discovering new things like this. It's kind of crazy, because it puts your whole view of like dinosaurs on like upside down, of what you're usually used to. Incredible piece of research there. So yeah, okay, so that's those things discussed in this podcast. Do we have anything else to talk about? I think we'll probably leave it for this one, because I don't want the podcast to be too long. So I think we'll probably, we shall probably keep the podcast relatively under half an hour or so. And that means we can discuss new things and indeed, or all of the things we've missed in this podcast in the future podcasts coming up. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. A little bit of entertainment. Leave your guys' feedback and thoughts in the comments below. Leave what type of guests you would like to be on this podcast in the future. And in the future, we'll be discussing all kinds of things on this podcast. It's going to be awesome. So anyway, thank you so much, guys, for joining us, and we shall see you guys soon. I hope you all have enjoyed, and we'll see you all in the next HotCuppaTV podcast.